Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Incumbent Worker Training System, also known for IWTS webinar this afternoon. We will be talking about the updates concerning the Department of Labor 6-month employment waiver. My name is LaToya McCrae. For those that do not know me, I am the Integration and Training Coordinator here at Southern Illinois University. And also we have Mike Baker from Commerce, and we'll also have my co-worker Jerome Grimmer from Southern Illinois University as well. So for today's agenda, we have introductions, which we just went over, the purpose of this webinar, the new modifications to IWTS, and a live demo, and then we will answer any questions that you have throughout the training. Just for housekeeping rules, just know that you can either ask a question verbally, or you can use the chat box, and either myself or my coworker Jerome will look at the chat box to ensure that we answer all of your questions. So at this time, I would like to give it to Mike Baker as he will discuss the purpose of this webinar.
Thank you, LaToya. Well, as you probably know, or if you don't know, you will know now, Department of Labor granted us a waiver to eliminate the requirement to establish the 6-month period for establishing a employee-employer relationship between a worker and a company. So this was a waiver that started at the request of several of the local workforce areas across the state, and was fortunately granted by Department of Labor for us to give it a try here in Illinois. The downside is typically they grant waivers on a 4-year basis. On this particular waiver, they gave us 2 years. So we have 2 years to kind of demonstrate that the waiver is making a difference in how we can utilize incumbent worker training and have an impact on the number of workers that we can train and the number of companies that we can provide services to. So what we are going to go over today is how we are going to track that activity in the IWTS system, and just to reinforce to all of you users why we're doing it. It's very important to Department of Labor that we demonstrate the effectiveness of our implementation of the waiver, and that is the driver behind all of these topics and all of the changes that we're going to talk about later on in this webinar. So with that, I'll turn it back over to LaToya and Jerome, and we'll dive into this exciting new development in incumbent worker training.
Thank you so much, Mike. So here are some of the requirements for the DOL waiver. So basically, it temporarily eliminates the federal requirements that incumbent worker trainees must be with an employer for 6 months to establish employer-employee relationships. The Department of Labor approved, so any projects that have been created on July 1st, and it will last until June 30th, 2022. These requirements are based on Department of Commerce and Equal Opportunity to report on how the waiver is implemented and the outcomes for the businesses and the workers. Also, we want to make sure that we capture this information in IWTS. And like I stated before, any projects that start on or after July 1st will actually track this information based on these requirements from the Department of Labor. And last but not least, it also takes in consideration the Workforce Innovation and Opportunities Act policy regarding incumbent worker training, just to make sure it's in congruence with the U.S. Department of Labor approval of the waiver of the 6-month employment requirement. So the new modifications to IWTS will affect the following screens: add employees, quarterly reports, and the one section would be workers training outcomes. And the other two IWTS reports is the training plan summary along with the employer summary report. So, okay, I see something in the chat before I begin. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, Latoya.
Okay, Donna Nanny stated that she could not hear me.
I can hear you just fine too. So I'm thinking maybe it's on Donna's end.
Okay, everyone's stating that they can hear me clearly. Okay. I hope Donna can get her audio together so she can hear me. But if you can't, Donna, I'll just let you know that this will be recorded. Okay. Sorry about that, everyone. So the first screen that will take in consideration the Department of Labor waiver is the add and edit employee screen, which is add employees, which you'll see on the drop down navigation of IWTS. And so basically, as you can see in this sample from the screenshot, one of the additional questions that we're going to ask all grantees is the length of employment as a project start date. So has this the length of employment been less than 6 months or more than 6 months, 6 months or more. So we want to make sure that we capture this information from all, employees that are working on these various projects. So that is the additional question that we've added. And just to be clear, this question will also come up when you're searching for employees with their social security number while you're adding them, and also if you're going to upload a bulk of employees so you can get all of that information done at once. So on the quarterly report side, as we stated prior, we're going to focus on the workers training outcome tab. And so in the quarterly report screen, the workers training outcome tab will include information regarding the status of, the training that the individuals have. So we will look at if they retained employment, if the wages were increased, or did they receive a promotion based on the training that they had. And so in the next screen, we're going to look at the definitions on you've probably seen this when doing your reports, but we're going to go into further details on what each option allows you to do. So as I stated before, when you're clicking on the check boxes for training outcomes, so the first option will be retain employment. So you will only click this at the time of submitting the final report, and that's when an employee stayed within the company or the employee is elected to leave the company. And this checkbox should not be checked if the employee received training but lost their job anyway. The next option is wage increase. So check this box if by the time of submitting the final report, the employee received or is scheduled to receive a wage increase as a result or directly attributed to the training. So otherwise leave unchecked. And last but not least, promotion. Check this box if by the time of submitting the final report, employee received or is in schedule to receive a promotion as a result of the training itself. When you check this box, search and select the occupation the employee has been promoted into. You can search by standard occupation classification category, keywords, or both. If the employee did not receive a promotion as a result of the training, you do not have to check this box. Any questions and concerns about modifications affecting training outcomes? Okay. So we're going to take a dive into the report section of IWTS. So in the incumbent worker training plan report, grantees can generate reports that reflect the length of employment by selecting optional fields. So as you can see here on the screenshot, it's all the way at the bottom. Before you select all, you'll see length of employment fields. So if you want to capture this information in your report, make sure you click this. And of course, you can click on other options as well that are important to you at that particular time. Also, in the employer summary report, grantees can generate reports that reflect all fields, and this is including the new option of length of employment. So basically on this employer summary report, it's capturing all the information all at once. So you really don't need to click on the optional field to gather this information. So at this time, I am going to pass it on to my coworker, Jerome, as he will give the live demo. But before we get there, I'm still seeing that one of the participants is unable to hear me. So I'll just email them on the side just to make sure. Okay, Norm Griffin, here's a question. Will we need to approve the promotion in the file? Trying to understand his question.
That sounds like a Mike Baker question to me. Mike, can you answer this?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the company should be providing documentation on that, whether it's an email or you could document a conversation. And you can go about it a couple of ways. You could enter a note in IWTS along with the project to say you had a discussion with them and they indicated a promotion was going to be either scheduled or took place at a certain time, or you could get an email from them and upload that. I mean, keep it simple. So yeah, you should document it, but you're taking the company's word that it happened. So I mean, it's we want to be reasonable with it. Does that help?
Okay, I guess that answers his question. Okay, so at this time, I will stop sharing my screen, and Jerome, you can take it away.
Okay, can everybody see my screen all right?
Yes.
Okay. That's kind of in my way. I'm going to move that out of the way here. All right, so I have pulled up my test project that I used in the last webinar. And I'm going to go down here to the Add Employee screen, where I can add an existing person by social security number. I can put in a new person, or I can upload an employee file. I'm going to go ahead and pick Add New Person. It takes you to this screen, and I'm going to put in a new person here. Here's that question that was added: length of employment as of project start date. You see it's blank here, so we're going to ask that you answer it one way or the other. I'm going to say 6 months or more, but if they're less than 6 months, you would click the other box. And I'm just going to make up a social security number here. And a zip code. out some of these other. Some of these other things. Application and add new person, and it's really that simple. I've added where's my okay, so I got my employee list back. And there's something going on there. But anyway, it should let you add the person. I will have to investigate that and see what's going on, what I missed. So you would add the person. You can also, if you want, you can upload an employee file. We've updated the instructions for bulk load. This is the new field right here, employed less than 6 months. And it's a simple, in here, it's a simple yes, no field. Y for yes, N for no. And you would go through the normal process of uploading the file. And we've also updated this sample file here for if you want to just download a file that's got a couple sample employees in it and just update that file before you upload, you can do that too.
Hey, Jerome, Craig Schmidt caught that you didn't hit the save button and you clicked add person. Maybe that was the glitch.
What was that?
One of the attendees put in the chat box that you didn't hit the save button, but you clicked add a person. So maybe that.
Yeah, that might have been it. I might have hit the wrong button. That was probably what happened. Yeah, add new person, and then, yeah, I should have clicked save instead of add new person. That's what I did wrong. Okay. At any rate, it would have saved it had I hit the right button, and you would have seen John test user listed in the list of employees. So that takes care of the add employees screen. So when we go to the quarterly report, and I click on the, now Johnny Test that I've got in here, he's completed one course, so therefore he shows up on the training outcomes tab. So if I click this promotion box, a dialog pops up where you can search. If you know what category the occupation is in, you can select it and search, and it'll give you a list. Or you can take the easy way and just say, I'm looking for vets. I select it, the dialog box automatically closes, and you see it's populated this box right here with the occupation. Click update workers, and that's pretty much it. This box up here, if you're doing a mass update, it works exactly the same way. And then I could check this box, alter checked records outcome, and now you see that it's populated this. In the event that you want to change the promoted occupation, maybe you messed up and you just put it in wrong, you can just click the search button and it takes you through the exact same process. Easy peasy, and you do not have to select an occupation back on the occupation upgrade screen at all for this to work. It pulls in from the entire set of occupations, all the SOC codes that are available to us. So any occupation that has a SOC code you can use. I will kick over here now to the IWTS reports and show you that plan summary. I'm going to go ahead and pop in that test project number. You guys won't see that, but down here in the optional fields, you have a checkbox for length of employment fields. And if you check it, it will run your report. And why is it not showing it to me? It worked on my test environment. I don't know. That's weird. Anyway, I will check that out. But it would show you two things. It would show you, does this project have more than 50% of its workers, 50% or more of its workers that have been employed less than 6 months? And then it would also give you a count of employees. The export would do the same thing. Don't remember if I have the software installed on my laptop to look at Excel. Oh, there's an exception. Lovely. I will check that out. Okay, the employer summary, it's the same sort of thing. Except there's no optional field. It just goes ahead and reports it. Come on. Aha, here we go. This one's working. So all the way over here in the right-hand side, you see this field here, projects with 50% or more of the enrolled employees employed less than 6 months. You get the project ID, and then you get the number of employees in those projects. So that is pretty much it for IWTS for the live demo. I'll turn it back over to Latoya.
Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Yes, we can hear you.
I can hear you. What's up?
Okay. All right. Can everyone hear me right now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So that is the end of the presentation. Does anyone have any additional questions at this time after seeing the live demo? Just okay. So the screen have your contacts. If you have any questions regarding the various topics, you can contact the point of contact individuals from this screen. And just to let everyone know, this webinar along with the presentation will be available. Give us by the end of the day or first thing tomorrow morning. I will email everyone that has registered for this webinar where you can find the presentation along with the web recording on the IWTS page located on the Illinois WorkNet website. So if you don't have any other further questions, thank you. Okay, we do. when does the changes go into effect? LaDonna, it started July 1st.
Right.
Okay.
It started July 1st. For projects that start, July 1st or later. I didn't actually get this pushed to production until August 7th. So if you started a project between July 1st and August 7th, you'll need to go back and mark the employees that were with the employer less than 6 months. You'll have to mark those that way. It pretty much defaults all the currently existing employees to having been there 6 months or longer. So that's why I say you just have to go back and change the ones that have been with the employer 6 months or less. You're
Okay.
welcome.
Okay. So thank you all once again, and you all have a great afternoon, and please be safe.